Welcome back to the Vault World Finals. Bobby Gerald and Brad Doty about to pass the baton to Shane Andrews and Roger Slack. It is late model time.
Thank you very much, Bobby. It is the Vault World Finals on speed. 50 laps for the World of Outlaws late model series. Let's meet the Q Oils quick timer for the World of Outlaws late model series. And it was none other than the Newport Nightmare, Jimmy Owens out of Newport, Tennessee. 14.825 seconds, 97 miles an hour, Roger. He was really hauling the mail.
Owens is always fast when he comes to Charlotte.
Proving it by picking up the quick time, the Q Oils quick time for the World of Outlaws late model series. A beautiful looking machine, and he won one of the heat races earlier tonight. Now, we had 6 heat races. The winners from the heat races went into the pits. They each drew to see where they would start to set the first 3 rows for tonight's 50-lap A-main. And you know something? In the super clean starting lineup, look who it is. It is Scott Bloomquist out of Mooresville, Tennessee, drawing the #1 position. Bloomer's going to be awful tough to beat, Roger.
Awfully tough. He's won here 4 times before. Last year, he was back in the pack, went into the pits, changed tires twice, came back out, won the race.
Scott has an intimidating factor about him. And one of those guys that doesn't get intimidated by him is this driver right here, the number 29, Darrell Lanigan, who's looking to clinch the championship tonight.
Yeah, exactly. You know, they grew up, they've been racing each other a long time, and if you're going to let Scott intimidate you, I mean, you're going to do that to yourself. So you just got to, you know, race him and be done with it.
The Fusion Energy in-car camera with the number 29 of Darrell Lanigan. Let's go down to the pits to Sarah Jane Hunt.
Yeah, guys, Darrell Lanigan just has to start the race tonight to clinch the championship. They already had some problems tonight with a fuel regulator, and the crew is a little worried, maybe a little superstitious. So what do? They have a backup car. It's sitting down here in the work area. So if anything happens before the green flag, Darrell can just hop in the backup car, and they'll be ready to go.
Darrell Lanigan wants that championship. He would be the 5th different driver to win a World of Outlaws Late Model Series championship since the inception back in 2004. Fireworks going off. They are 4 wide. The salute to the fans, and that can mean only one thing. We are just about ready to get things underway. Let's take a look at the super clean starting lineup for this World of Outlaws A-main. On the front row, we are going to find Scott Bloomquist in the 0 car. Next to him, Matt Miller out of White House, Ohio.
In row 2, we've got World 100 winner Shane Clanton, and beside him, Owego, Illinois' Shannon Bath.
Row number 3, Donnie Moran, the winner of the Vault World Finals 1 year ago, and Dale McDowell out of Chickamauga, Georgia.
The Newport Nightmare, Jimmy Owens, behind them, followed by Watertown, New York's Tim Fuller.
Row number 5, Earl Pearson Jr. out of Jacksonville, Florida, will roll off 9th, and next to him, Kid Rocket, Josh Richards out of Shinston, West Virginia.
The next row, a former winner here in a big block modified, Ricky Elliott, and beside him, Grayson, Kentucky's Josh McGuire.
Row number 7, the Kentucky Colonel, Steve Francis, the 2007 World of Outlaws Late Model Series champion, and the real deal, Don O'Neill from Martinsville, Indiana.
Then you've got Pennsylvania legend Davey Johnson, and beside him, another former winner here in a super late model, Mike Balzano.
Row number 9, Jeff Ryan out of Danville, Pennsylvania, and Jonathan Davenport out of Blairsville, Georgia.
Vienna, West Virginia, Steve Shaver, and another Watertown, New York native, Tim McCready.
Clint Smith out of Sonoya, Georgia, and a backup car here tonight. He will start on the inside of row 11, and next to him, Tommy Kerr out of Maryville, Tennessee.
Another Grayson, Kentucky native, Jackie Boggs, and a former winner here, and right beside him, Gastonia, North Carolina, local favorite, Jeff Smith.
Darrell Lanigan out of Union, Kentucky will start in row number 13 with car number 29 looking to clinch the title here tonight. And Chuck Frank out of Bear Lake, Pennsylvania in the 1 star.
And we've got provisional starters with Rick Eckert from York, Pennsylvania, and Bob Gordon from West Virginia.
Let's go down to Sarah Jane Hunt for more.
Guys, Steve Francis pulled his car into the work area here. Not exactly sure right now what's going on. He's talking to his crew. And we'll try to get an update further for you guys further here in a minute.
Well, Steve Francis was slated to start in position number 13. The driver of the Dale Beitler-owned number 19 new team this year. He won the championship with his own car in 2007. This year, joining with the ranks of Dale Beitler, Kevin Miller, the crew chief on that car. So they're going to be looking that over. And that's not the position they wanted to be in.
No, definitely not.
Let's go down to Sarah Jane Hunt.
Steve Francis is in here. Steve, can you tell us what is wrong with the car?
I broke a transmission right then. I don't know what happened. Broke the just out there hot lapping, warming up, and I broke the rear shaft of the transmission.
Very disappointing for Steve Francis and the crew, not the way they wanted to start the World Finals.
And you can see the frustration by the way he throws his gloves.
And that's tough luck. Steve Francis led all 100 laps of the Colossal earlier this April.
Yellow lights are off as we are ready to get going, and Steve Francis is in a tough battle for second in points. The difference between second and fourth in points is $25,000, Roger. That is a big setback for the number 19 team. Scott Bloomquist and Matt Miller up on the front row, 50 laps. It's the World of Outlaws Late Model Series, the Vault World Finals, and we are underway. 800+ horsepower battling down the back straightaway as everybody's clean and green through corner number 1 and 2 for the first time. The Fusion Energy and Car Shop looking over the Kentucky Colonel's shoulder, or actually the Bluegrass Bandit. That is Daryl Lanigan, and he's got a lot of work in front of him.
He sure does, and you can tell, though, this racetrack is wide. It's racy. He's going to be able to maneuver multiple grooves to get up to the front.
Donnie Moran working the bottom side of the speedway right now, just getting around the number 18 of a Shannon Babb. Now he moves up to the middle. We've seen this track change quite a bit here tonight, especially after the sprint cars.
Yeah, it started extremely choppy, but it blew off, and now we've got a good cushion up by the wall.
Plenty of racing room. They have been going 3 wide in some of these battles tonight. We saw earlier in the preliminary events with the late models.
Yeah, we saw where it was fast at the top for a while. Then it moved down to the bottom. Then it moved up to the middle. They did some track work, and now they're racing back all over it.
This is the battle for 5th and 6th. Donnie Moran, Dresden, Ohio is his residence. Shannon Babb in that number 18 machine right there with them as they work through corner number 1 and 2 and now enter into the mix. The number 20, that is Jimmy Owens. He was the Q Oil's quick timer 1 night ago. Now he's trying to get around Babb, and it looks like he may clear him at the stripe. He will do so. Give him position number 6. Babb stays working on the top. Looks like there's still a bit of a cushion up there to put that right rear sneaker.
Yeah, there's a curve that starts in turn 1 and goes all the way just to the middle of turn 2, and then it really drops off and it starts to slick off coming off of 2.
Jimmy Owens in the number 20, the Newport Nightmare, takes the position away. The Mike Reese-owned ride as he gets around the Clint Boyer-owned ride of a Shannon Babb. But Babb comes right back on the top side. So Babb's liking the top to his liking. Here's the Can-Am Cam shooting them at you. Wow, what a view.
You know, on Wednesday night, Shannon Babb started 14th and came just a few feet short of winning the race, and he did it all by running the top.
Lap traffic coming up for the leader, Scott Bloomquist in the 0 car as he looks to get around Jackie Boggs. Bloomer takes the low groove right now, and boy, he is tough to catch, especially when he starts up front like this.
But this is going to be interesting to see because his car was great in clean air, but now that he's into traffic and dirty air, that can really tighten that race car up.
Let's see how he handles it. He's a very good master of traffic, knows his way around this speedway in particular. Some drivers find a groove that they really like, and this track seems to fit Scott Bloomquist. And it also fits these 2 drivers right here, Shannon Babb and Jimmy Owens, still battling for position 6 and 7.
Yeah, I mean, this is a hammer-down racetrack. It's Babb style, and we've got a 41 in the wall. And
we've got Josh McGuire in the number 41 making contact with the wall as he comes to a stop in between turns number 3 and 4. 27-year-old chauffeur out of Grayson, Kentucky, bringing out our first yellow for this World of Outlaws Late Model Series 50-lapper as we are 12 laps in.
It sure is, and a beautiful look for the fans that they get to see double file restarts, the Delaware double file until halfway.
Green lights coming back on, and Scott Bloomquist wasting no time as they work their way up off of corner number 2. And look at the Shane Clanton and the number 99 of Donnie Moran getting together. Babb's going to take it to the top side. Down on the bottom, they're 3 wide. Tim Fuller right there as Donnie Moran was stuck in the middle. Plenty of racing grooves. Oh, hang on. We've got Shannon Babb up against the wall. You don't want to get into loose stuff.
No, he jumped that curb up there in turn 1, and he paid the price.
And it's going to cost him a couple of spots. Davey Johnson able to get by. So is Steve Shaver. And Josh Richards now looking to get by. Could Babb have done something to that race car?
He could have, maybe some suspension damage. He may have gotten to the wall just a little bit.
Babb in the number 18 shuffled back to position number 12. He started fourth, but he's not deviating from the top side. Almost gets the wall again. Oh, you have to be so careful when you push the envelope not to get a paper cut.
Yeah, you know, the cushion has moved up so far that they're running out of room off of 2 and off of 4.
Clint Boyer, the owner of this ride. More on the Babb, number 18 from Sarah Jane Hunt.
Babb running the high side there. He's been doing that all week here. Actually, before they started today, they had to replace the spoiler. So he likes it up there, but he might just be getting a little too close for comfort.
Well, you dance with the girl you brought to the prom, and he has been running the top side, as Sarah said, all week. We saw in that topless race here earlier this week.
Well, and that's just Shannon's style. He is a hard charger. He grew up on the Midwestern tracks where they got a heavy cushion, and he always just rode that rim.
And he stays up there on the rim. He's got Davey Johnson out of Latrobe, Pennsylvania. Steve Shaver in the number 30 right there challenging him. While the race leader, Scott Bloomquist, heavy traffic right now, just got around the number 31 of Bob Gordon and going back after Jackie Boggs. Now that last caution actually kept Boggs on the lead lap, but not anymore as Bloomer just powers by. And something we noticed earlier on the Bloomer car, and we were talking about this off a mic, is that Scott Bloomquist is keeping all 4 wheels on the ground with that race car, Roger.
Yeah, it's been his philosophy with his new chassis that if he keeps all 4, the car stays better balanced. He keeps the tires evenly heated, but we also noticed that when we went to the last yellow, he got down into the wet dirt as soon as possible to going back down.
Battle for position number 3 brewing is Matt Miller in the number 7 M has it, and the 20 of Jimmy Owens starting to reel him in, closing within a car length. A great battle here as they cross the stripe to complete lap number 22. Matt Miller has had a very good night here this evening as he picked up a win earlier in the heat race as Scott Bloomquist putting the number 24 of Rick Eckert down a lap.
Yeah, Bloomer is just on a rail right now.
Owens going after Miller for the 3rd spot. Will he grab it off the turn? Yes, he will by a half car length. Now give him a full car length as he uses the Gordon number 31 in the pick and roll. So the 20 car of Jimmy Owens working very well.
And he's also in a Bloomquist chassis. And an interesting thing, typically Team Zero likes to pit all together. They're not pitting all together this weekend.
No, they're spread all over the pit area.
Yeah, there's a little bit of dissension in the ranks. Yeah.
We have a car slowing. That is Shane Clanton out of Locust Grove, Georgia, in the number 25. A 4-time winner on the World of Outlaws late model series for 2008. Off the pace as he limps down the back straightaway. He was in a position, Clanton, to move up into second in points with Steve Francis's problems. And boy, I tell you, 2nd place in points, 3rd place in points, awfully tight one more time as both Francis and the 25 of Clanton having trouble. Tomorrow at 1 Eastern, NASCAR on Speed. Back underway with the World of Outlaws late model series. Scott Bloomquist wasting no time, running away from Jimmy Owens and Mac Daddy, Dale McDowell. McDowell likes that middle groove, and there's some bite there.
Yeah, there is. They moved those, what we call the banana boxes, down into the infield, and so they're spitting up some wet dirt into the center groove, and it's starting to get more bite.
And look at this. Owens now takes the 2 spot away from McDowell. He is shuffled back to position number 3. So let's see if Mac Daddy can regroup and get back up and battle him as he starts to fall back into the clutches of Matt Miller's number 7M and the 44 of Earl Pearson in that Bobby Labonte-owned machine. Good look there at McDowell out of Chickamauga, Georgia. Hasn't raced much this year. He was in the booth with us a few times for the World of Outlaws Late Model Series here on Speed as color analyst, and he hasn't won a World of Outlaws Late Model Series event since September of 2005 at Kentucky Lake Motor Speedway. He'd sure like to change that this weekend. And of course, this is a big weekend that everybody wants to win on, Roger.
Well, it is, because it's only the second time that you've ever had the biggest stars in both disciplines of the sport all together on one place.
And on the national stage right here on Speed in the heart of racing country. Darrell Lanigan in the number 29 car, currently running in position number 17 as we take a look with him in the Fusion Energy in-car shot. You can see the force. A lot of people don't realize how big this track really is.
No, that's one thing that it's got a ton of banking, but you lose that perspective from the grandstand as well as from TV.
Working into the turn. Look at him just working that wheel ever so gently. He has a really good handling race car right now. His hands aren't all over the place.
Well, they're starting to get some new technology and some new ratios in the steering racks, and it's making it a lot easier to handle these cars.
Handling very nice right now as he runs the inside up off of corner number 4 as the 29 of Darrell Lanigan just got around Jeff Ryan in the 2J to pick up one more position as he is up to position number 16. Scott Bloomquist once again in traffic, looking to get around Jackie Boggs. He will do so as he works his way through turns number 3 and 4. 33 complete for Bloomer. He won opening night of the Vault World Finals in 2007, looking to repeat that here tonight. And we're going to take a look at the driver out of Vienna, West Virginia. That is the 30 of Steve Shaver.
Yeah, Shaver, always faster.
Last year, he set fast time in both time trial sessions. This year, a little bit off the pace, but always a contender, no matter where he goes. Showtime in the number 30, currently riding back there in position number 6, working the inside, letting it drift out just a little bit, and that's the characteristic of this racetrack.
Yeah, now we've got trouble down here in turn 4. Looks like it is
Davey Johnson in the number 17D. He had trouble on one of the restarts going around mid-pack, and he will bring the caution out one more time. Well, these drivers can't have pit boards. They have no radio communication. They have to use hand signals. So Scott Bloomquist and his crew doing it the old-fashioned way.
There's a lot of fluorescent gloves that walk around the pit area.
Tommy Hicks, the crew chief, on that zero ride, showing his driver right where he's going. As the field works their way off of corner number 4, Scott Bloomquist is still the guy they are chasing. And a great battle here. Ricky Elliott in the 45, Steve Shaver in the 30, Earl Pearson Jr. in the 44, Shannon Babb still up on the top shelf. He has not deviated from up there, Roger.
No, he isn't, but I'll tell you what, Ricky Elliott is coming to the front. He started 11th, and now he's up to 5th. He's a guy that has won here before in a big block modified. He finished second to Bloomquist in this race last year.
Elliott in the 45, he is up to position number 5. Shannon Babb just grabbed the 6th spot from Steve Shaver, and now Shaver has his hands full with Pearson, and now Josh Richards coming at you through the Can-Am cam. They were 3 wide off of corner number 4 as everybody using every inch on this speedway. Boy, a great shot as they work their way down into turn number 3 and 4. T-Mac, Tim McCready in the number 39 looking to make some noise. He is up to position number 7. He's running the top side, and you know top side Timmy's going to put that right rear Hoosier on the cushion.
Yeah, and it's interesting. It looks like he started to find a line that's about 3/4 of the way up, just at the top of the black. He's not hitting the cushion, but just at the top of the black where the dirt has still got gotten a lot of traction to it.
And he'll use every inch of that as he needs to get to the front as we have a great battle going on between Babb in the number 18, Ricky Elliott, and the number 39 of Tim McCready. Of course, McCready and the 45 of Elliott, no stranger to battling one another in the big block modifieds up there in the Northeast, and now swapping paint in the late model division all across the United States. McCready sets it up, and we notice when he comes off the corner, he's right up against the wall, and that is the design of this racetrack.
Yeah, you know, the straights aren't straight here. They've got a curve to them, and that gives a guy on the outside a chance to keep his momentum coming around.
As they work their way into corner number 3 and 4 as we continue to watch this battle for position number 6 and 7. Track conditions holding up very well here tonight, Roger.
Yeah, it's getting extremely slick, and we've got trouble with the 20 car.
Jimmy Owens, second place car off the pace. And we're going to see caution. A tough break for the Newport Nightmare, running in position number 2, trying to reel in the 0 car of Scott Bloomquist, and he will go to the assistance of Chris Fox, his crew chief. A tough break, but that allows Scott Bloomquist a little bit of breathing room. Scott Bloomquist, Dale McDowell, Matt Miller, Shannon Babb, Tim McCready, your top 5. We are under green once again, 7 laps remaining for the 50-lap A-main for the World of Outlaws late models here on Speed, the Vault World Finals. Roger, it doesn't get any better than this as a mad scramble with T-Mac on the top shelf.
And now Babb has totally changed his approach. He's running down on the bottom.
Look at this opening on the bottom. Miller went up high. McCready puts it down low. He likes to run the top, but he'll put it anywhere as he needs. A good handling race car for T-Mac as he drives by Miller and moves up to position number 4.
Yeah, and you can see that's with that extra 10 feet of extra width on the turn. It allows him to keep that momentum going.
Now T-Mac, he was going after the 18 of Shannon Babb. Loses a little bit of ground that time, but makes it back up in turn number 1 and 2. He is better in 1 and 2, but Babb seems to have the advantage in the money quarter off of turn number 3 and 4.
Yeah, and that's really interesting that Babb has went and dialed his car in. You know, Babb's going right back up to the top, but he's running the bottom in 3 and 4.
McCready came from the B-main tonight. He started 20th. He's going after Shannon Babb for position number 3. Still working the top side, putting it wherever he needs to. And T-Mac has won some big money races here in the last couple of weeks.
And, you know, he has not run well here all week long. He didn't even make the race on Wednesday night. Didn't qualify all that well. He's back in it.
2 to go for your race leader, Scott Bloomquist. Second place, Dale McDowell, Shannon Babb, Tim McCready, and Matt Miller. 1 year ago at the Vault World Finals, it was this driver, Scott Bloomquist, picking up the night number 1 win. A year later, he is looking to do it one more time as the white flag is out.
When Bloomer's on fire, it's hard to beat him.
Scott Bloomquist out of Mooresburg, Tennessee, takes it down the back straightaway in his 27th year of competition. He will bring that Bloomquist chassis off the line and pick up the win for night number 1 of the Vault World Finals with the World of Outlaws late models. Dale McDowell second, Shannon Babb third, Tim McCready from 20th to 4th. Matt Miller comes home in position number 5. Well, Roger, no surprise when Scott Bloomquist draws the pole, he is going to be tough to beat.
And when there's a lot of pressure on the line, a lot of prestige, a lot of money, Bloomquist always finds his way to the front. He won the very first race here. He won the very first 2 Colossals here. He won the very first night of the World Finals last year. He does it again tonight.